So in this video we are going to have a look at how to make an ajax call with the last select in a group of dependable drop-down menus. Now I've already added another form which will have an additional property called summary. That summary later on will be updated through the last ajax call. After this call has been made, this summary will be updated and then we will be able to display some sort of message under the form. Let's now have a look at our single.view file. What I need to do is to add another property here, and this property is going to be called isLast. Now this property will be of the type boolean, just indicating whether the given input, the given select, is the last in the set of dependable drop-down menus, and by default it will be set to false. Now if we scroll down and if we find our call successful method, once we have associated the records with what we received from the ajax call, what I want to do is check if response has inside of the data block the summary index. Then what I want to do is use event bus and fire the event called update summary, and we're going to concatenate it with this with the group name, so the wrapper know which group does it belong to, and then just send this summary with this event. So response data summary, and it's response, there we go. So we're going to send it to the wrapper, and wrapper then will update its internal property. Now don't worry about my IDEs putting this line through this summary because it thinks that it belongs to a different object, but it's not. It's just a property that's being returned with the ajax call. Okay, so that's this. And one last thing we need to do on the update when we actually selecting, because when we making selection on the given select, we are calling this update. So here, because we won't have any other child which depends on this particular input, if it's the last one, then we will need to check if this is last. Then what we want to do is call this fetch method, so we're still making this ajax call with the last item. So if we scroll down, you'll see that the last select in this set has this isLast set to true, whereas the others don't. So when it's the last one and you still want to retrieve some data from a server making the last final ajax call, that's what you will have to do, is set this isLast to true. Okay, so our single.view file, our single select component is now completed. However, we need to obviously provide the handler for this update summary event. So if we open our wrapper, and from within the wrapper, the first thing we are going to do is to add the new property, and that property will be called summary. So we can pass some summary into the object straight away, as we did here. As you can see, if we just scroll up, I've already set the total on this object to 0. So if I go back to the wrapper, summary will be of the object type, so object, so type object, and default will be just an empty object, so arrow function return an empty object. Then if we scroll down a little bit, for the data we're going to add internal property summary back, and this by default will be whatever we pass through as the summary. Okay, and if we now scroll down to the created, we need to create this handler event listener for this update summary. So update summary, when this event is fired, what should we do? We should call update summary method. We don't have this method yet, so let's just scroll down and we are going to add it after, if we just go remove field, I think this is the place for it. So update summary will contain will receive a data as an argument, so we set this summary back will equal object assign, and what we will do here is an empty object to which we are going to put the existing summary back merged with the new data. Merged meaning that obviously if there's any property on the data that is also within the existing summary back 1 will be overwritten with the newly received one with the response from a server. And the last thing, when we are cleansing, we need to clear this summary back as well. This summary back, when I say clean, is reverse it back to what it was originally. So this summary. So what we got through as a property, we need to associate it again with the summary back to make sure whatever we've sent through the Ajax, obviously that needs to be removed, and a fresh copy of the summary needs to be associated with the internal summary back. One last thing we need to do in order to be able to access this summary through our slot is obviously to add this property, pass this property to the slot itself, to our scope slot. So we have summary, which will be represented by this summary back. Now if we save and recompile everything and then preview it in a browser, now if we refresh and scroll down to our new form, you'll see we have 3 selects as before, but we also have this message here which tells us please select all attributes to reveal the price. So we're going to select from the first one, the Ajax call is being made, second one, Ajax call is being made, and with the last one we also should have an Ajax call, and we do. And when that happens, that returns summary with the price. If I change it, it provides a different price. If I change it here as well, you'll see this resets itself, and then obviously different prices for different brands are being returned. So that's everything in terms of the dependable drop-down menus. In the next video, we are going to tackle multi-select.